I want to talk a little bit about what I think is the real power of our company. And this is where it's going to succeed or fail. It all boils down to, thank you, Greg, it all boils down to this idea of building a community. And in fact, some of you may notice I've started to wear a little bit feminine jewelry here. This is actually on purpose for me. This is a reminder of this. And this is permanent. I had this welded on my, and so I can't take it off unless I cut it. Because it reminds me of what I'm trying to do in my life and hopefully in this company. And when I say I, this is an I, this is all of us. And that is to make this a place where everybody, regardless of their religion, regardless of their belief structure, regardless of their thought process, they feel welcome here. Because I think if we can do that, I think that's where we're going to start to see an amazing increase. Because I've seen it in other companies. I've seen it in other countries. And this idea that this community is all about this expression community. So I did some research on this. I'm not sure where I'm supposed to be pointing this. I want to talk a little bit about a horse, because I wanted to sort of instill in your mind how important this concept is. And this concept of working together. First of all, I understand it's very difficult. You know, we know, Craig just told you about the complexity of working in this world. It's hard to work together. But I hope that you can remember this analogy. This is what we call a cart horse. Do you have these big horses in Malaysia? These really powerful ones. You've seen them on TV though, huh? They used to plow, you know, the fields and stuff like that. A single cart horse can pull about 8,000 pounds in weight by itself. You know, it can pull about 8,000 pounds. But that's not enough, and so they actually put them together, and you've seen them working together. Now, 8,000 plus 8,000 is? 16,000, right? And I want you to think about in your business, because I know, I'm sure when you saw this number, you got a little bit scared. You were like, crap. But I want to soften that just a little bit here, because it's not really 6 times. And here's why. Because the actual power of 2 of them working together too many slides, huh? It's actually 20,000 pounds. Because of, what do we call that? What's the word in Malay when 2 things work together and the result of the sum is greater? Synergy? Yeah. Synergy is the same in English, huh? So there's a synergy that's created in your group. And that's why Desmond or Jurida or Hamiza or Juslida or whoever it might be. What's your first name? Tom. T-O-H. T-O-H. T-O-H.
Like your big toe.
Toe. Like his business is starting to grow, and all of you that have experienced some kind of growth, is you start to realize there's a synergy that starts to be created. Now that synergy isn't sales of product, it isn't case credit, it's the magnifying, the multiplying of the pulling force of your business. It's a unique energy that's created, and this is where the volume comes from. If you sat down and added up your volume, you can work it out, of course, but there's something that's created when you get this positive motivation and force going forward. Now, that is what I want to talk a little bit about today briefly, is 2 forces becoming one, the matching stride, learning rhythm, anticipating movements, and gaining trust. And I'm going to break these down a little bit in a second here. I don't know if you want to take a picture of this, but I want you to think about your business and what ways can we match stride? What ways? Do you know what matching stride means? You know, when the horse's feet, the right foot goes together at the same time as the left foot, and so on, you know, and they get in rhythm. What ways? How would I see that in my business? What would that look like? A very small way, introductions. Very small. Do you see the way Greg introduced me today?
Tee up.
And that made me feel great. It made me feel confident. So when you're on a Zoom call and you're introducing another speaker, make sure you introduce them in a way which makes them feel great and confident. Don't tell any lies about them, but just make them feel great. That's just one way that your team can become in stride. When somebody in the team does something great, recognize them in front of the team. That's getting in stride. Another way is don't recognize with comparison, like we talked about yesterday. That's a way to get out of stride. Is, oh, you did manager in 6 months, that's fantastic. I did it in 4. No one cares, all right? So that's just one way that we match stride. Learning rhythm is learning the culture of your group and instilling that culture. It's really important that you understand there's a layer to this business that is beyond just case credits and volume. Okay, I'm going to go into that. Hold on, what happened here? Okay, if those two horses match their stride, get in sync with each other, they don't pull 16,000 pounds, they don't pull 20,000 pounds, it's 32,000 pounds. So, in what way can we get our businesses working together? I want you to think about that. In what ways what can you do to make your business work together more effectively?
Tire. The big tire.
Huh?
Tire. The big tire. At the back of the big tire.
Look what I've got for you.
This black tire. At the horses.
Yeah.
Horses car and have two horse. And we need big tire at the back of the car. Wheels and back.
Wheel.
Wheel.
Oh, so explain that to me. What do you mean by
so-
wheel? I know what a wheel is, but you can answer the phone while we're talking. It's probably the kids. So remember, we're trying to turn 8,000 into 50,000. These horses have turned 8,000 into 32,000.
So we need all of us
Yes.
to work together
Uh-huh.
to same direction with the horses.
Yes. I love it. Thank you. Let me give you an example. So you're a leader, and somebody in your downline comes to you and says, I'll use Greg and I's names because I don't want to upset anybody. Oh, you should have heard what Greg said about you last night. You ever had that in your business? Where someone's come up to you and said, oh, I heard something that somebody said about you. Have you ever heard that? Or, oh, you won't believe Greg blocked me from his group. You ever heard that? Oh, Greg did this or Greg did that. Now, good leaders go straight to Greg and they'll say, hey, I heard this. I don't believe it. What do you know about it? Just get it solved. And then you say to that person when they come to you and you say that, say, oh, that's not my experience with Greg. That's typically not what I've experienced. Can you imagine if we all did that, how much we'd be working together and pulling together? Because for some reason, there's people in your group, and it's not just Malaysia, it's all over the world, that some just like to probe and dig. Is that fair? Have you seen that here as well?
Yes.
You know, so just watch out for that. Okay, we'll stay with our analogy here. Okay. Here we go. This is how we're going to unify. Because here's my promise to you. The number one reason our businesses fail is a lack of unity. 100%. If that person doesn't feel comfortable in the business, they're gone. I asked the leader in Forever recently, why did you come back? I just missed being on stage with my people. Didn't mention the money, didn't mention the case credits. I just missed being on stage with my people. Greg said yesterday at lunch, because someone kind of asked him why he doesn't need the money. Why does he do it? He says, because I can't let the people down. The only reason he's here is because of you. Because his actions speak louder than his words. He got on the plane. Yes, I did too, but he got on the plane too. And he really doesn't have to be here. I get paid to be here. He pays me to be here. But you see how the community of Forever is more important than anything else to him. Now, I'll talk about that in a minute, but keep the vision bigger than the ego. Is the first one. What does this mean? Because someone help me. What does this mean? What does this mean to you? Keep the vision bigger than the ego. All right.
Put our self out of the way than the vision.
Love it. Thank you. Anybody else? Keep the vision bigger than the ego. Think about leadership. Hope you don't mind me talking about this because you're leaders, yeah? And you would have dealt with this and seen this. What about this group right here, this quiet group? Is this all the grown-ups back here? What does it mean? Huh?
Forget the past that hurts you
Ooh.
and move on.
Oh. Whoa. That's cool. I'm going to get that tattooed. Forget the past and move on. Wow. I wish I could shake your hand. I wish I could hug you, but you won't let me. Forget the past and move on. Huh? Keep the vision bigger than the ego. What else? Yes, ma'am.
We must educate our team to know why behind the business.
Oh. Say that loud so they can hear it back.
Yeah. To be to me, we must educate our team to know why behind our business.
Yeah. I understand what you mean completely. The reason why we do it. And today's young people, interestingly enough, we accuse them of being thoughtless, lazy, always on their phones. In reality, they want to know the reason why much more than I did, much more than a lot of you did, so you're absolutely right.
Yes, because we must let them know that we are not only selling product, but we are doing something that they can, we can give them hope. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well done. One of the most difficult decisions we have to make every year is who speaks at a rally. It's a big thing to allow an FBO to stand up on the stage in front of 15,000 people plus 100,000 people watching from home. It's a big thing. And very often the person will come to us and say, you didn't invite me to speak and my case credits are X, Y, or Z. That's the ego being bigger than the vision. Our vision right now forever is growth. It's all about growth. So the people that speak are the ones that are growing. And so we have to make that decision based on vision. And so always be brave enough to make that decision in your lives as well. Personally as well. Don't recognize yourself for something you're not doing. Okay, connect and talk. This is vital. As leaders, connect and talk to each other. You're like-minded. You're experiencing the same things. Trust each other. Be there for each other. Upline, downline, and crossline. It is vital. And if you want to know where this works, Japan. Japan has been number one, pretty much saved 2 or 3 years since the very beginning. The number one reason is their leaders are unified. Are they great friends? No. They care for each other? Yeah, absolutely. There's 3 distinct groups there, 3 distinct, completely separate ways to do the business. And yet when they get in a room, they will discuss and they will get after it. But as soon as they leave the room, they're united. Number one for all that time. They grew by 12% this year. I boil that down to product. They only have 30 products. They have less product than you guys do. Marketing plan, less generous than yours. The number one reason is because they are unified and they connect and talk maturely. Okay, listen before you lead. Big one. Now, this is very difficult to do because quite often we know what we want to say. How often have you been in a conversation when you know the person is just waiting for you to breathe and they're going to start talking? So learn that skill is when you're listening before you lead. And not to, to blow a hot air at my boss, but Greg is really good at that. Very often in our meetings, he's the last person to speak. This is where I'm really bad. I'm really excited sometimes and I jump in too quickly. I start going down the road and then someone says something, oh crap, I wish I would have listened to them first, right? Has anyone else experienced that or is it just me?
Yes.
Yeah, I hope so. Okay, quickly address miscommunication. We talked about that. You hear something, you hear a rumor, let's stop it. Get at it right away. Make the phone call, send a text, get it go so it doesn't start to snowball into a bigger issue. Okay. Quickly address our gossip as well. Celebrate without comparison. We talked about that yesterday, so important. Finish with the next step in mind. In other words, when you get to a level, enjoy the moment, what's next? So important in leadership. How many of you remember when you went manager and you were so excited? You'd worked so hard to get the 120 cases, 150 cases. You now moved up to the maximum level of personal bonus. You are now a manager in the marketing plan. Boom. The next month, your case credits will half. Anyone else experience that?
Yes.
Or is that just me? Right? And that moment was like, oh. That's where Eagle Manager came from. Eagle Manager was designed to help with that, right? That was the whole purpose of Eagle Manager. Now, I'm going to do a little side bend here about Eagle Manager. I've just had a really brilliant data mapper look at Forever's data. And I said, I want to know what it is that we could tell people is going to make the company grow. Because I don't want to talk about rah-rah, I don't want to talk about just, you can do it, you can do it. I wanted something more, I wanted something specific, I wanted something tangible. Because one of the weaknesses in my leadership is I'm okay at making people feel good and want to go out and go, yeah, I can run through a wall, yeah, I can do this. But I'm not very good at telling people what to do. So I needed to improve in that, so we went and we analyzed the data. We looked at countries that have seeded and countries that have failed, individuals that are doing well, and everything. And they spat all this information back, and I got a 17-page report. I read through the report, and it basically said, what do you think it said? What did it say? In your experience, Desmond, you're a smart man. What did it say? What is the one thing we should focus on as a company? I'll give you a hint, okay? It said, sponsor more people, okay? It said, have your FBOs understand they're gonna maintain a minimum standard, a minimum level of case credits, okay? They set that level at 60, a minimal level of 60 case credits for every manager in the business. And it said they've got to have a significant amount of new volume every year. Does this start to ring any bells? Thank you. Eagle Manager. The Eagle Manager program is the canary in the coal mine. Do you know what that means? You ever heard that expression?
Yep.
Do you know what a coal mine is? Underground? Years ago, they used to put a canary in there. It's awful, right? The canary died, it means the oxygen's over, you need to get out. So if your Eagle Managers are going down, the company's not going in the right direction. Okay. We have 30, 25 plus 9 is 34. We had 34 Eagle Managers. Is that right, Eddie? I think you said it was 25 that... something, so 24, thank you, and 9 are not traveling, is that what it was? Okay. 24 Eagle Managers in Forever Malaysia that are going to go to Dubai. So if you want to know what you need to focus on to be successful, everything we talk about today are skills to develop Eagle Managers. And that is where I'd love your focus to be when we leave today, is to develop more Eagle Managers. Develop an expectation in business of 60 cases minimum for all your managers. and everyone's working to a 60 case minimum. Everyone's sponsoring a minimum amount of people that are going to help them generate 3 new supervisors at 10 cc's, and the last one, they're going to have 100 cases of new every year.